Hey everyone, it is February 12th, 2014 today. Um, Still very cold and very snowy here in Chicago. Counting down the days till spring. I think something like 40, 39, 38, something like that. So I'm just catching you up a little bit. Just got back from Maui, Hawaii. I was there for a week with my partner for our 18th anniversary. If you ever get a chance to go, amazing place. It was our first time there. Beautiful place, lots to do, lots to see. I almost feel like we were trying to do too much because the vacation wasn't too relaxing per se, but it was very nice to see. Went whale watching. It was hard to come back to this cold, dreary weather, but at least I had a week break from it. So I wanted to catch you up a little bit because I had my first scoping of my pouch or Pouchoscopy yesterday, as a matter of fact. I wasn't supposed to have one done. I was supposed to just have a regular clinic appointment the end of this month with my GI as well as my pouch nurse. And I called my nurse for my GI just to let her know, hey, I'm coming in the end of the month, but I didn't know because I'm getting close to a year of my Jpouch activation. April 8th will be a year. February 8th was the 10-month mark. I think last time I made a video, I had just passed the 8-month mark. So I just passed the 10-month mark. Anyways, I called the GI nurse, and she talked with the doctor, and he decided he just wanted to do a scope of the pouch just because we hadn't done one yet, and skip the clinic appointment. So I went in, I got home from Maui on Monday, and I went in Tuesday for the scope of my pouch. A few things before I get into more details about the Pouchoscopy. Number one, there's no prep involved. So if you're familiar with the colonoscopy and you have to drink all that crud and on a clear liquid diet for a day ahead of time and all that, none of that involved with that. There is no prep for a Pouchoscopy at all. Although I really tried to limit what I ate about after 6 the night before the test. My test was scheduled for 9 in the morning, just because I wanted the doctor to be able to get a good look, as good as he could, and I figure if there's stool in there, you're not gonna be able to get as good of a look. So they didn't tell me to, but I just tried to limit that stuff. And then also, usually with the colonoscopy, you have to have someone drive you because there's sedation involved if you choose sedation for a colonoscopy, which most people do. I always did. But for the pouch, you can have sedation if you want, but I chose not to. I had heard that you didn't really need it. And if any of you are familiar with a flexible sigmoidoscopy, it's usually a procedure where they don't go in as far when you have your colon. They don't go in as far, and they usually can do that in the office. And a lot of times, most times that's done without any kind of sedation. So I also had the camera in my pouch before I had my takedown surgery. So I figured it was going to be very similar to that. So anyways, no prep involved, no sedation, so I didn't have to have anyone drive me there. I was able to be alert the whole time and see the screen and interact with the doctor and things, which were cool. It was slightly uncomfortable at times, mostly because of the air that they were pumping in a little bit and gas, but my GI is phenomenal, and he was constantly asking, are you okay? If he heard me moan or whatever, are you in pain? Are you doing okay? And he would adjust, and he did wonderful with that, and he had his fellow or his resident with him also. Just really neat to be able to see the way the pouch is configured inside. I wasn't really sure what I was looking at, but it was just kind of neat inside. And they did take biopsies, as is standard. They took some biopsies up from kind of my terminal ileum, up kind of where the Jpouch starts, and then they took probably about 6 biopsies from directly inside the Jpouch. He did say he saw some mild inflammation or mild pouchitis, but he said the biopsies will confirm, if it is true inflammation or pouchitis. So he did have me stop the VSL probiotic and put me on an antibiotic called Cipro, which is a common antibiotic they use for pouchitis for patients who have the Jpouch. And he said he's not surprised that I may have a touch of inflammation because I do have the PSC, and people with PSC do tend to get pouchitis more often. So he said he wasn't super surprised by that. He said they do put people on the VSL after the creation of the Jpouch, after the takedown, in the hopes that it would prevent the first bout of pouchitis. But he also said that study was done over in Europe, and they haven't really been able to reproduce that study here in the States. So that's why he said he's not surprised that I may have some pouchitis, even though I've been on the VSL every day since the surgery. So anyways, I'm on Cipro. I take 2 pills a day, one every 12 hours for 2 weeks, and then I'm supposed to call his nurse and let her know how I'm doing, how things are going. It sounds like there's the possibility of staying on a maintenance dose of the Cipro if it changes anything for me. The funny thing is about all of this, and I went to see my pouch nurse after I saw the GI and after I had the scope, and she was puzzled because she said I'm not really having any symptoms of classic pouchitis. I'm not having any fevers, there's no bleeding, there's no urgency, there's no change in my stool frequency. It's pretty much remained constant 6 to 8 times a day over a 24-hour period. Basically since probably 6 to 8 weeks after my takedown. 2 times at night. I'm I would say pretty regular, like clockwork. I kind of know when I'm going to need to go. So she said she was a little puzzled by him finding some inflammation, but yet me not really having any classic symptoms of it. Looking back now, and knowing that he found some inflammation, although I'm waiting the biopsies for the definitive results. I've been on the Cipro. I've taken 2 pills so far. I'll take the third in a couple hours. And I feel like I've noticed some differences, not necessarily in frequency, but I was always or frequently bothered by what I thought was just gas. I just thought I was kind of a gassy person. And that feeling made the urgency to go a little more intense. Not bad, nothing like colitis, nothing where I had to run to the bathroom, but I just felt what I would describe as gas in the area, in the pouch area. And since I've started the Cipro, I know it's only been 2, and it could be placebo effect, it could just be diet over the past 18 hours. I feel like I don't have that gas feeling, that feeling of when I need to go to the bathroom isn't like it was before I started the Cipro. So I'll be interested to see what this Cipro does. And if that feeling does change, then that means I probably had a little bit of inflammation going from the beginning when I had the takedown going. Whether the VSL helped keep it in check, or I was having little bouts of inflammation and then it would clear up, and little bouts of inflammation and clear up because of the VSL. Again, who knows exactly. But I'll be interested to see what happens. Maybe my frequency will go down more. Maybe the nighttime issues will clear up. Those are still kind of the same. Sometimes no issues. Sometimes 2 times a night. I talked to the pouch nurse again about it and told her, if I'm up every 3 hours, I probably won't have an accident. But if I'm really tired, like I noticed the flight out to Maui, you had a layover in LA, and then it was another 5 hours to Maui, and so then your sleep cycle's all messed up. Coming home, the same thing. So when I did sleep, those few times, I was out, and I would sleep for like 4 to 5 hours and then wake up, and of course I would have had an accident by then because it was such a long stretch of time. She really didn't have any good answer as to why it's still happening. So she said she's wondering if this Cipro will affect the nighttime issues. We had a lot to cover, and so I didn't think to ask her this question, and I didn't write it down ahead of time. I should have, but I'm going to see her in April for my 1-year visit with her. And I'm going to ask her to medically explain to me what is different now with the anatomy, that I'm not getting a sensation in the middle of the night to get up and go to the bathroom. So when you have your colon, if you're in bed and you have diarrhea or you're going to go to the bathroom, you get the sensation that wakes you up that you have to go if it gets that intense. And so I'm not getting that sensation. And I'm assuming it has something to do with removal of the rectum and those nerves in that area. So we'll see. I guess I'm a little bit hopeful that he did find a little bit of inflammation and that the Cipro seems to maybe be making a difference right now. A little bit hopeful that that may affect the nighttime issues. So we'll see. I have to be on, like I said, that for 2 weeks at least. So I'll probably make another video to catch you up in that time and let you know, what happened, if it improved or anything. I think that's it. I think in the last video I said I was going to talk about the health insurance issue real quick, even though I know that's not necessarily the forum of my YouTube channel, but I thought it would be important to touch on. So I'll probably make another video like that quick this weekend just to talk about the health insurance issue. And then I think that's it. That catches you up on everything. I am in process of making that video that I talked about in the in my last video. And I think I heard back from like 7 or 8 people, and I still have a few more that I want to contact. So I'm slowly getting that together. I didn't want you to think I forgot about it. It's still going to happen. And I think that's it for now. So I hope you're all staying warm if you're living somewhere where it is cold. And if you're not, curse you for being in a place that's warm. Hopefully someday I'll be in a place that's warm all the time instead of winter 6, 8, 7 months a year. Okay, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to drop me an email at ucandpsc@gmail.com, or you can just leave some comments below the video. Take care until next time.